These are the reasons why the chosen ones are secretly fighting lust. Have you ever stopped to think about those people we call the chosen ones? You know, the ones faith tells us are set apart for a higher purpose, a divine plan. On the surface, they seem to have it all together: perfect faith, unwavering strength. But what if I told you there's a hidden struggle, a battle they fight in silence that few dare to talk about? I'm talking about lust. Yes, even the chosen ones wrestle with this, and today, over the next 3 hours, we're going to uncover why they fight lust in secret, what drives them, and what it means for you watching right now. This isn't just a theoretical discussion. It's a deep dive into the spiritual, emotional, and psychological battles that shape the lives of those who feel called to something greater. If you've ever been curious about spiritual battles, wonder about your own struggles, or just want to dive deeper into this topic, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon. You don't want to miss what's coming next. So let's get started. Now, before we jump into the reasons, let's set the stage. Who are these chosen ones? In Christianity, they're often mentioned in the Bible. Passages like Matthew 22, verse 14, where Jesus says, "Many are called, but few are chosen." They're the prophets, the apostles, the leaders set apart for God's work. But the concept isn't limited to Christianity. In Judaism, it's the idea of being chosen for a covenant. Even in pop culture, think of figures like Neo in The Matrix or Harry Potter, people destined for greatness but burdened by it. For these chosen ones, their calling comes with a weight. They're expected to be examples of holiness, purity, and strength. But that expectation creates a paradox. They're human, just like us, and they face temptations like lust. Over the centuries, religious leaders, saints, and even modern pastors have written about this struggle. It's not new, but it's rarely discussed openly. Why? Because shame, fear, and the pressure to appear perfect keep it hidden. Over the next few hours, we'll explore why that secrecy exists and what it reveals about their faith. Stay with me, because understanding this context is key to grasping the battles they face. And if you're enjoying this, hit that like button. It really helps us reach more people who need to hear this. High spiritual expectations. Let's start with the first reason why the chosen ones are secretly fighting lust: the high spiritual expectations placed on them. Imagine this: if you're seen as someone special, chosen by God to lead, inspire, or live as an example, there's an enormous weight on your shoulders. Your church community looks up to you. Your congregation expects perfection. And deep down, you demand it of yourself too. But here's the catch. Lust is a human desire, something everyone feels at some point. For the chosen, though, it can feel like a personal failure, a betrayal of the purpose they carry. They ask themselves, if I'm really chosen, why am I struggling with this? And it's that very pressure that forces them to fight in secret, often without telling a soul. They fear judgment, disappointment, or even that their faith might be questioned. Think about it: pastors, missionaries, even youth leaders. They're held to a standard that can feel impossible. And when lust creeps in, they don't know where to turn. Have you ever felt that kind of pressure to be spiritually flawless? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And stick with me, because we've got 9 more reasons to explore. Closer connection to God. The second reason is their closer connection to God. The more someone feels drawn to the divine, the more they become aware of their own imperfections. For the chosen, this connection isn't just a privilege, it's a spotlight. They see their sins, including lust, more clearly than most. It's like looking in a mirror and noticing every flaw. In the Bible, Paul talks about this in Romans 7, where he says, "I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate, I do." For the chosen, lust isn't just a fleeting thought. It's a battle they feel they must win to stay true to their calling. They fight in secret because they believe admitting it might weaken their spiritual authority. Does this resonate with you? Have you ever felt that the closer you get to God, the more you notice your struggles? Let me know in the comments, and let's keep going. Temptation as a test. Reason 3. Temptation as a test. Many religious traditions see lust and other temptations as trials sent to prove faith. Think of Jesus in the desert, tempted by Satan. The chosen ones believe their struggles with lust are part of God's plan to strengthen them, to refine them like gold in a fire. But here's the challenge: they can't talk about it. Admitting they're tempted might make them look weak, especially if they're leaders. So they fight in silence, hoping to pass the test without anyone knowing. It's a lonely battle, but they see it as essential to their calling. Have you ever viewed your temptations as tests? Share your story below. We're all learning together. Impact on relationships. The fourth reason is the impact on their relationships. For the chosen, lust isn't just a personal struggle. It threatens their roles as spouses, parents, or leaders. They worry that giving in could damage their marriages, their ministries, or their credibility. Imagine a pastor who feels attracted to someone other than his wife. He can't admit it, not even to his closest friends, because the fallout could be devastating. So he fights in secret, praying for strength and hoping no one ever finds out. This fear of relational fallout keeps the battle hidden, but also makes it more intense. Have you seen this play out in your own life or community? Let's discuss it in the comments. Internal conflict, flesh versus spirit. Reason 5 is the internal conflict between flesh and spirit. The Bible talks about this tension in Galatians 5, where Paul describes the war between our sinful nature and the spirit. For the chosen, this isn't just a concept, it's their daily reality. They want to live for God, but their human desires pull them in another direction. Lust becomes the battleground for this war, and they fight it in secret because they're ashamed. They don't want others to see their humanity. They want to be seen as superhuman. But that secrecy only deepens the struggle. Have you ever felt torn between who you want to be and who you are? Share your thoughts. I'm listening. Cultural pressures. The sixth reason is cultural pressures. In today's world, the chosen ones are bombarded with images and messages that glorify lust, social media, movies, advertisements. For someone trying to live a holy life, this can feel like a constant assault. They fight in secret because they don't want to seem out of touch or judgmental. But inside, they're battling to stay true to their values while navigating a culture that often celebrates what they're trying to avoid. It's a modern twist on an ancient struggle, and it's tougher than ever. How do you handle these cultural pressures? Let me know below. Fear of judgment. Reason 7 is the fear of judgment. The chosen ones worry about what people will think if they admit their struggles with lust. Will their congregation lose faith in them? Will their friends see them as hypocrites? Will God be disappointed? This fear drives them to hide their battles, even from those who could help. They put on a brave face, preach about purity, but internally, they're crumbling under the weight of their own secrets. It's a tragic irony. The very people who need support most feel they can't ask for it. Have you ever feared judgment for your struggles? Share your experience in the comments. Historical examples. The eighth reason comes from history. Throughout time, figures like King David, Augustine of Hippo, and even modern saints have faced lust. David, for example, fell into temptation with Bathsheba, and his story is a cautionary tale for the chosen. These historical examples show that lust isn't new, but for today's chosen ones, they serve as both inspiration and warning. They fight in secret because they don't want to repeat those failures, but the pressure to be better than their predecessors only intensifies their struggle. What can we learn from these stories? Let's talk about it. Psychological stress. Reason 9 is psychological stress. The constant battle against lust creates cycles of guilt and shame that can be overwhelming. The chosen ones might win a day, a week, even a year, but the fear of relapse keeps them on edge. This stress isn't just spiritual, it's mental and emotional. They might isolate themselves, avoid relationships, or even burn out. And because they fight in secret, they miss out on the support that could help them heal. Have you ever felt this kind of stress from your own battles? Let's support each other in the comments. Hope and redemption. Finally, the 10th reason is hope and redemption. Despite the struggle, the chosen ones hold on to the promise that they can overcome. They believe God's grace is greater than their failures, and that's what keeps them fighting. They might fight in secret, but it's not out of despair. It's out of hope. They want to be better, to fulfill their calling, and to show that redemption is possible. This hope is their secret weapon, even if they don't always share it. Does this give you hope too? Share your thoughts below. We're in this together. Practical application and reflection. Now that we've explored the reasons, let's talk about what to do. For the chosen ones, and for anyone facing this battle, there are steps you can take. First, seek accountability. Find a trusted friend, mentor, or counselor who can walk with you. Second, lean into prayer and scripture. Passages like 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13 remind us that God provides a way out of temptation. Third, consider professional help. Therapists and spiritual directors can offer tools to manage lust and its root causes, like stress or unmet needs. And finally, be honest with yourself. The secrecy only makes the struggle worse. Breaking the silence can be the first step toward healing. If you're a chosen one or know someone who is, share this video. Let's create a community where these battles aren't fought alone. What strategies have worked for you? Drop them in the comments. I want to hear from you. Conclusion. So, why do the chosen ones fight lust in secret? It's because of high expectations, a closer connection to God, temptation as a test, relationship pressures, internal conflict, cultural influences, fear of judgment, historical examples, psychological stress, and the hope of redemption. Each reason reveals a deeper truth. They're human, just like us, but called to something extraordinary. If you're fighting this battle, know that you're not alone. Comment below your thoughts, like this video, subscribe for more content like this, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Next time, we'll dive into how the chosen can overcome daily temptations. Don't miss it, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. Thanks for joining me on this journey. See you next time.